And this is amazing technology, but it seems like this is just one step in what's going to be many steps. Is that accurate?
That is accurate. That is very accurate. And I don't know how much of the demos that I'd done online, how much of those you had an opportunity to see. But what I can do today is be able to actually demonstrate the use case, the actual product to you, and then of course the use case, so that that can help your when you want to write the story.
Oh yeah. That'll be very very helpful. So, Shafat, how long was this technology under construction? I mean, it seems like this would be a Herculean effort to create something like
Yes.
this.
Yes, so we actually started working on core in 2012, and when we started developing the product, we had already decided that it will be built with the readiness for artificial intelligence and machine learning, and be able to connect with the deep neural network and the natural language processor, so that we could release the AI version of it soon after its release. So the product actually got released in 2017, July 19th, actually, which is, next week will be actually its second year of anniversary. But we could not get the AI piece out at that time, so we just because
Oh, okay.
it wasn't ready. So then we continued working for the AI piece for the last 18 months. It took us about 12 months to get it ready for the beta testers. And then we got our customers engaged, and they tested it with their businesses, and we obviously kind of crossed the T's and dotted the I's and made it perfect, and did the official release this week. So technically you could say that it's been in works for 6 years, but real extensive work on it happened in the last 2 years.
Oh, okay. To get that AI piece in here.
Yes.
That's amazing. So, what type of team do you have developing something like this, Shafat? I mean, how many people do you have to put on something like this to get it done?
So there's AI obviously is multiple processes and teams that work on it. So for example, we built a ground up different set of APIs for the AI, which is not the same APIs that our web application or our mobile application consume. This is a whole different set of AIs that we specifically built for these APIs to be built to be consumed by our artificial intelligence portion of our application. The trick on that, Richard, was that we wanted it to be extremely robust and extremely prompt in terms of getting the answer, because if you have to wait a long time to receive an answer on a conversation you're having with someone, it doesn't feel human-like conversation. So that was one area where there was a team of developers and engineers that worked on these new set of APIs that understood the world of artificial intelligence and built that. So there were about 6 people in that team.
Oh,
And then there was another team that specializes in what we call as Dialogflow, which is a technology that was made open source by Google through their open APIs using their own NLP. So there were 4 people working on the Dialogflow. This is where you train the AI to extract the intents accurately from the questions people might ask. So that team was responsible for building the Dialogflow. And then the third part was what we refer to as a bridge app. Bridge app is something that sits between our customer's company file and our AI, which really gets the request from AI, goes and pulls that information from the customer company file, translates that into plain English, and sends the response back to the AI app, and the AI app then reads to the customer or ask for further information depending on what was sent. So that team was a little bigger. There were about 12 people in that team to build that bridge app, which was the most important piece, because now, I'm pretty sure you might have come across Amazon's Echo or Google Home devices. It's not about asking, what's the score on the basketball game, because that's an easy piece of information that the answer to that question for everyone that asks that question is the same. In our case, the answer to a question you might ask will be different than the same question when asked by me, because I'm asking about my business, you're asking about your business. So we have to pull that answer in real time from your company file in core to give you that information, such as, hey, how much is my account receivable, or what's the balance in my bank account? When you say what's the balance in my bank account, it's going to give you the balance in your bank account, not in my bank account. So that's what made it challenging for us.
Yeah, that's pretty intense. That's amazing, actually. So they have to plug their system into the BQE core system.
Correct. So when they authenticate it through standard authentication that we use, they basically give it a permission to access the company file, so that the AI portion of core can actually give you the right answers. Do you want to see a little bit of demo to get a feel of it?
Yeah, I do. I've got the BQE website up right now.
Are you on a computer right now?
Oh, yes, sir.
And you're connected through GoToMeeting, or did you dial in?
No, I mean I've just got the website up.
Okay, so what you probably want to do is go to GoToMeeting.com on your browser.
Okay.
And when you do there should be a button in the upper right corner somewhere saying join a meeting, and when you do so, it will ask you for a meeting ID, and I'll give you the meeting ID. That way you'll be able to see my screen.
Richard, you saw my calendar invite. It should be in the calendar invite, actually.
Oh, okay. So let's see here. And I'm not okay. Let's see here. Okay, go to meeting invitation.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay, so it says choose an audio option, phone call.
Just say phone, since you're already on the phone.
Yeah, you're already on the phone. You're already connected to the meeting, but you want to be able to see Shafat's screen. He's going to share the screen with all of us through GoToMeetings so that you can see.
Oh.
Yeah.
So join the meeting as?
You can type in your name, yeah.
Okay,
I see you
right.
now. Yeah, and you should be able to see my screen. I'm right now sharing the dashboard with all
right.
the widgets. Yeah, do you see that?
Uh-huh.
Wonderful. So this is, by the way, this is our business application that is used by thousands and thousands of engineers around the world, that to manage their business and day-to-day operations of their business, and including their financials and project accounting and everything else. And this is my dashboard, as you can see in here. So what I want to show you, Richard, is typically if I wanted to go to a client record, let's pull up client in here. And click on ArcLight Theaters as my client and look at the performance of this client, which is really look at the KPIs for this client. You can see I'm making 38% profit with this client. The client is 96% paid bills. This is my work in progress, right? So I have to go through the step of logging in, clicking around to get the information. If I want to go to employee, and I want to look at Scott Jackson, let's say I'm doing a performance review for this employee. So I want to look at his performance in terms of what his, effective bill rate is, what his utilization rate is, what his realization rate is, all kinds of things that me as a manager need to know about a particular employee. Again, I could do that through the web app, but what we're trying to do is saying you don't really even need to be anywhere near your PC or your phone. You could just have a conversation with your smart devices, such as your Amazon Echo or your Google Home or even Google Assistant on your phone. So you would just speak to it. And I have a Google Home device on my desk, so I'm going to speak to it. So let's see if you can actually hear it. So let's just ask it, while we're on this Scott Jackson, let's ask it about Scott Jackson. Okay, Google, talk to Core Intelligence.
Okay, here's the test version of Core Intelligence. Hey, Scott Jackson, got a question?
What's the ideal pay rate for Scott Jackson?
The ideal pay rate for Scott is $69 per hour. Anything else?
What's his effective bill rate?
The effective bill rate for Scott is $163 per hour. Anything else?
Who's my best client?
ArcLight Theaters is ranked number 1 among 11 clients with 161% profit, which amounts to $274,899. Is there anything else I can help you with?
What's the work in progress for ArcLight Theaters?
Did you mean ArcLight Theaters?
Yes.
Work in progress amount for client ArcLight Theaters is $71,250. What else would you like to know?
What's the bank balance for my Wells Fargo checking account?
Did you mean Wells Fargo checking?
Yes.
The balance for Wells Fargo checking account is $382,717. What else would you like to know?
What's on my to-do list for today?
You have nothing on your to-do list
Okay.
on the 12th of July 2019. Would you like to know about your upcoming tasks?
Can you help me create a to-do?
Sure, what should I call it?
Follow up with Richard next week.
Next week, your net profit is 0%,
Oh.
which amounts to $0. You have $0 of income and $0 of expenses. Anything else?
Can you help me create a to-do?
Sure, what should I call it?
Call Richard.
Okay, got it. Your to-do task will be named as Call Richard. Do you want this task for client, employee, or project?
Employee.
Great. Could you please help me with the employee name?
Scott Jackson.
A to-do has been created for employee Scott Jackson with name Call Richard and is active now. What else can I help you with?
So here it is. Call Richard. How's my business doing this year?
This year, your net profit is 18%, which amounts to $211,028. You have $1,145,264 of income and $934,236 of expenses. Is there anything else I can help you with?
How was it doing last year?
Last year, your net profit was 29%, which amounts to $522,488. You had $1,792,735 of income and $1,270,247 of expenses. What else would you like to know?
What was on my to-do list for today?
You have nothing on your list for today's date. Would you like to know about your upcoming tasks?
Yes.
You have no upcoming tasks. Wouldn't it be better to commute with nature?
Okay.
Or do you want to hear anything else?
Thank you. Goodbye. So,
Thanks for using Core Intelligence. Till next time.
so the whole concept is not about basically telling the world that BQE has come up with a text, voice to text or speech to text tool. It's really significantly different than anything else that has been done in the past. You now have a software that runs your business efficiently, and at the same time it comes with your personal assistant that recognizes who you are, implements the security automatically, and now gives you information that saves you a lot of time, and more importantly keeps you informed all the time, and you know it's accurate because it's pulling from the data of your company file, and it's almost like having a business analyst sit down, and of course a lot of people say, well, yeah, I could always log in and see it myself, but there are certain things that many of our customers don't even know how to do that. For example, if you remember, I asked it a question. I said, who's my best client, and it said ArcLight Theaters is the best client, and many customers, they are not trained analysts. They don't know how to evaluate, is it based on profit? Is it based on, dollars? Is it based on how fast they pay? So all these clever algorithms that run behind the scene are just running for you, and you're getting these answers literally in a fraction of a second, and being able to, whether you're in a staff meeting and the question comes up about a project and you want to come in saying, how much profit are we making on such and such project? You get that answer right away. Or what is the deadline on the project? When's it due? What's the progress? Where are we? What percent complete are we? So including, like small business problems, like how much do I owe as compared to how much do people owe me? Or do I have enough money in the bank to meet my payroll? That kind of stuff. We believe that we're at that turning point where we as consumers generally and businesses are getting very comfortable with having conversation with devices like Amazon's Echo and Google Home and Cortana on Microsoft. So it will have a rapid adoption, and people are going to find it much easier than typing in. Sometimes I'm having lunch and I would like to know a lot of things about my business and don't want to touch my phone with my greasy fingers. I would at that point in time love to get an update on a project because I'm about to walk into a project meeting right after lunch. So great way to be up to date on your business, and more importantly, help you make those decisions accurately and correctly all the time, because you're no longer guessing.
Yeah, now that's pretty neat, and so what I guess, like, so you will continue to work on this technology where it will know more and more.
Absolutely. We're building it to do everything that you as a human being can do in your business, about your business, whether it is to call your client to schedule an appointment, or let your client give the client an update on your project, or be able to say, hey, can you put a 20-minute time entry or half-hour time entry to such and such project if you're wanting to track your time accurately, or record your expenses. Hey, I just took a Uber for $17, bill that $17 to such and such job. So we're training it to really be your personal assistant and your personal business analyst, who does not need to be paid, doesn't have limitation of 40 hours a week, and is available to you anywhere, anytime.
Yeah, that's amazing. So this dashboard is pretty neat, and I know that there's proprietary information, but I'd love to get, Kari, I'd like to get a neat image of a dashboard, that doesn't give away any proprietary information, I think would be a great image to go with our little story
Yes.
that we're together.
Yeah, Richard, I can definitely get you any graphics that you want to use for your article. So just send me a separate email afterwards with list of everything you need, and I will be happy to provide it.
Yeah, and so what I want to do is through this conversation is just get some notes and then kind of piggyback on your press release. And so, is to have some good information from your press release, but also information that we're talking about today. And what we've already done, we posted your press release on our website. It looks really good. I don't know if you've seen it.
Yes, we've seen it. Thank you so much for that.
Yeah, and so what I want to do is, kind of work up a little topper, and we can fact check all this when I'm done, to make sure that everything looks good. So, but yeah, I think the big story for me here is you've added this AI piece, and it's only going to get better.
Exactly.
And to the personal assistant and business analyst, and you can access and navigate your company's dashboard by voice.
And not just company's dashboard with voice. Anything that you as a business owner, project manager, or even a regular employee could do or want to do on your business application, now you can by just having a conversation with your application, including, can you email Richard the aging report or cash flow statement or project status report, anything that you could ask an assistant to do, it'll do it for you. Or anything you would hire a certified public accountant for, it can do that for you. The analyst kind of, business analysis, financial statement reviews, and things like that.
Cool, yeah. And so when do you plan on rolling out an even, larger update than this? I mean, is it something that will just evolve, or 2 years from now you're going to come out with an enhanced version? How does that work, Shafat?
So the way we are building this is we released the Core Intelligence V1 on this Wednesday, and it already has capacity to handle several hundred areas of our application, questions related to that. And then we are doing a bi-weekly update on it. Every 2 weeks, we're adding more intelligence capabilities to it and keeping our users informed about what's new in Core Intelligence every 2 weeks, saying, okay, we added these intents now you can talk about this with Core, you can talk about that. So we see this as a work in progress with a constant evolution every 2 weeks. And we're obviously getting a great feedback from our customers too. So we're learning a lot from them, and they're also saying, hey, it'd be great if it can do this, for me, or it can do that. So we're just making it better and better. I think a year from now, Richard, if we do this meeting again, you'll be extremely impressed because it'll be so much more loaded with a lot more capabilities than it is at this stage.
Oh, so constant evolution. So this thing will be basically not under construction, but will be enhanced and intensified constantly.
Exactly.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's really cool. And so the functionality and everything that it can do will just go deeper and wider.
Exactly.
Well, BQE's been in business. I think you founded the company in 1995.
That is correct. We released our first product in 1996. So this is our 23rd year in business per se, since we released BQE 1.0.
Yeah, I mean, being in the industry that you're in with, technology and software and all that, to have been in business since 1995 is extremely impressive.
Correct. And one other important piece of information, I don't know if you know this, I ran my own structural engineering firm for 8 years in California. So I am, licensed engineer in the state of California, and I have designed, actual buildings. So I came from the same fabric that we're selling to. So I understand the pain points that
Sure.
these business owners and these project managers are going through, because I went through those pain points. So that's why this product resonates so well with engineering and architectural community in the world.
Right. You know what an engineer wants. You know what an engineer needs.
Exactly.
I mean, you're not just a tech guy.
Well, exactly. I have a tech background, but I also have, masters in structural engineering. So, and ran my own firm. So I understood exactly how businesses run and what are the struggles we face, and how to make those pain points go away, especially those repetitive, mundane tasks. How can we completely automate those?
Sure. Good. Well, and I know you had mentioned it before. How are your clients taking this?
Oh, they're loving it. I mean, we are getting. I mean, the beauty about once you roll out a product is, you basically think you got it until a handful of customers start downloading it, and then the requests are pouring in. We have a way to get feedback on this through a dedicated email address, and we're already getting emails saying, oh, have it email me a report, have it send me the graph to my phone, that kind of stuff. So people are already getting excited about it. Somebody just sent me an email this morning, said that I used it for the first time, about to get into a project meeting, and asked it for an update on the project, and was extremely impressed with the details. It gave me exactly what I needed. So just to demonstrate what he said to it. So let's just pick a project here.
And real quick, Shafat, are you actually using the mouse, or is that BQE?
No, I'm actually using it.
Okay.
Yeah.
You were just highlighting stuff for me.
Yeah, I'm just highlighting the stuff for you. So
Okay.
like, and I can say it in a single sentence. I can say, hey, Google, ask Core Intelligence about the update on PV Country Club.
Sure, let's get the test version of Core Intelligence. Did you mean PV Library, Main Building Expansion Plan?
Yes. Let's go to library.
The project is doing extremely well with a profit percentage of 38%. 17 to 10 PV Library owes us $6,954 with $6,243 of work in progress. Do you want to know more about 17 to 10 PV Library?
Yes, what's the work in progress?
Work in progress amount for project 17 to 10 PV Library. PV Library, Main Building Expansion Plan is $6,242. What else would you like to know?
6,400 and okay, $243. Okay, so thank you, goodbye.
I didn't get that. Can you repeat that?
Thank you, goodbye. So I'm a project manager. I'm walking into a meeting. I need to know these numbers before I walk into the meeting. So my hands are full. I got coffee in my one hand. My
Sorry,
drawings.
can you say that again?
Thank you, goodbye.
Thanks. Have a nice time. Bye.
So this is a scenario that one of the customers had actually gone through this morning. Are you there?
Yes.
Okay. So there's also a video that we have produced for Core Intelligence. It's kind of on the humorous side. Kari will send you a link to that one too. So feel free to, on your online version, to link to that.
Yes, yeah. I want that as well. We can embed that in the story.
Wonderful.
Yeah, this is cool. I mean, sometimes when I get into this tech stuff, it's amazing. It's challenging, but I like the fact that you've created something that's going to grow.
Exactly.
This is not something that's just like a product and, you know, you're going to come out with an updated version of it in 2 years. This is going to be a constant churn of learning for this platform.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
This is great. Well, so what? Can you enlighten me any more? Can you show me anything else? Or I mean, I think I've got a pretty decent idea of this. It's very exciting.
Well, I think also the point I want to make is, you know, just like we had a big shift from, you know, mainframe to PCs and then from DOS to Windows, we're now shifting from, you know, then we had a shift from, you know, desktop-based application to cloud-based application. And now we're shifting into mobile-based application and artificial intelligence applications. So for businesses that are starting business, I believe that that we are probably the only product right now in the for A&E space, especially engineering community, that has the mobile first philosophy with built-in artificial intelligence, and that's going to be your next generation of technology at your work. So it's very important for people to embrace it earlier than everybody else to get that competitive advantage and thrive in the next decade.
Right, yeah. Early adopters, Shafat.
Yes, exactly.
I have one more interesting point to bring up is that most recently we had actually one of our media partners mention in her speech at a conference, she actually mentioned Core AI. And there was tremendous interest from the attendees, one of which was a visually impaired person. This was an this was a visually impaired person in the accounting industry who was extremely interested. And yeah, I believe that is actually a market also. I don't know, obviously, how big the market is for visually impaired, you know, accountants, but that is definitely, you know, a use. There's a need for, you know, application like this. I think.
Oh, absolutely.
So.
Absolutely.
Sure, and Shafat, go back. I like that shift that you're talking about. You said there's a big shift from mainframe to what? Was that again?
So it was from mainframe to PCs, and then, you know, which is the early days of the personal computers with DOS. Then we shifted from DOS to Windows, and then we shifted from Windows desktop applications to cloud-based applications. And now we're shifting. Now we're seeing a shift towards, you know, mobile first philosophy, where we're using mobile phone more than we're using PCs. And then this new shift is now going to be artificial intelligence, where, you know, when you say, "Hey Siri, you know, call this, call that," it's quite possible for you to do it. I remember Google Assistant can now make an appointment for you at a restaurant or at a hair salon, just by having its AI piece dial in that phone number and have a human-like conversation at another human being with another human being that it's calling. So these are the kind of things that we're seeing now, and BQE definitely is leading in this space. And you know, and what my take was that if you wanted to make a plug, say, hey, look, if you are wanting to have that competitive advantage, embrace tools like BQE Cores and its artificial intelligence, because not only will they allow you to make the right decisions all the time, every time, and therefore grow your business, but also you're going to be so far ahead of everybody else. And for the newer businesses, they're already the next generation of entrepreneurs. They're already looking at applications that are mobile centric and pre-built with artificial intelligence tools.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. This is amazing. Yeah. Cool. Well, good. So, what else, Shafat?
That's it. I mean, We could talk forever, but I'm very passionate on this subject, and unfortunately, the bigger concerns the challenge that we're really solving is how many of these professional service businesses, especially engineering companies, are using the wrong products. Products like QuickBooks, which is not really a business management software, which is not the right tool to run your engineering firm. It's an accounting software, right? Or even Deltek, it's an accounting software. It's not really a tool that you want to empower your staff with the right tools. That's where we come in, the next generation, where everything is done through automation, not manually keeping a ledger of everything else.
Sure, sure. Well, I tell you what, I think between your website and my notes and your press release, I've got enough information to put together, a neat little article. And Kari, you're going to send me that video and maybe a really neat screenshot of this dashboard.
I'll send you a nice screenshot graphic, as well as link to the video. And you're going to have recording for, our conversation, this meeting. I recorded it. So like you can go back and, maybe get quotes.
You'll send that to me as well.
Yeah, I will send that to you.
Okay, yeah, and then what we'll do is, I think Beth had said that we want to get this in our September issue, correct?
Yes.
Okay, good. And so that's a tight deadline. I want to have this issue done by the end of July. Kari, right down to the end, we're going to work closely with each other and make sure that all the facts are there, and
yeah, definitely.
That we've got everything crossed up, because I want this to be good for you guys. And just talking to Shafat on the phone, you can tell that he's a sincere guy, and you've been in business for a long time. So, just want to make sure that we get this right.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you, Richard. And, we do also have, some big, more exciting releases coming up also later on this month, as well as next month, and then into the fourth quarter. So we'll keep you posted.
Yeah, keep us posted. And, this is on the editorial side, but, we cover software and tech, but, we'd love to be a good partner with you guys as well.
Sounds
Wonderful.
good. Yeah, and you guys are great. Thank you so much.
Yeah, okay. And listen, you guys have a great weekend. I'm going to get my notes and kind of digest everything, and then probably start working on an article early next week.
Okay.
Great.
And I'll follow up with the recording and all of that you wanted, okay?
Okay, yeah, great. Well, hey, thanks, guys, and we'll talk to you soon, okay?
Thank you so much, Richard.
Have a wonderful weekend.
All right, bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye. Kari?
Yes, Shafat.
I think if you are, I was saying if you're ready, we could just go
you want to just, but you know what? We can talk about it, but I'm on GoToMeeting, and I need to switch to GoToWebinar.
We'll sign off because we both need to join.
Okay, so let me start GoToWebinar.
Did I get a link from GoToWebinar? Because I don't remember getting one.
Okay, I can Slack you the link right now.
Yeah. Let's start with that, and I'll join you on that side.
Okay, sure. All right, bye-bye.